Proterra stock analysis. Oh boy, okay guys, we have another EV company going public via a SPAC, and this one is Proterra. So Proterra is planning to merge with ArcLight Clean Transportation Corp. So this news was released early on Tuesday morning. As you can see here, the stock is up huge. So this SPAC stock is up over 70% today. So as you can see here, as of recording this video, it's at around $21.70. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit more about Proterra and why I think it's probably one of the better EV stocks to buy out there, since there's a lot of revenue. But before we get into the video, guys, be sure to grab your 4 free stocks on Webull, guys. This promotion is ending at the end of the week, so you guys only have a few more days, and all you have to do is click the link in the description below, or you can head over to investortrip.com/Webull and grab your 4 free stocks. And to do this, all you have to do is deposit at least $100, and you get up to 4 free stocks, each valued up to $1,600, guys. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit more about Proterra. So what is Proterra, guys? Well, Proterra is basically a commercial integrated and diversified EV company. So it's not really competing directly with a company like Tesla. It's more on the commercial side, and their specialty is electric buses, guys. So let's talk a little bit more about the actual press release. So as you see here, I'm on Yahoo Finance. So let's give you guys some more details. Let's talk about those numbers. So as you can see here, it says that it says Proterra is a high growth commercial electric vehicle technology leader with over a decade of production experience, and the company is broken down into basically 3 key segments. So first is the Proterra Power, that's delivering industry leading battery systems and electrification solutions to commercial vehicle manufacturers. And then they have Proterra Transit, which is the North America's #1 electric bus producer. And then they have Proterra Energy, which is kind of offering end-to-end turnkey charging and things like that with their V2G, vehicle to grid technology. So one of the things that I like about Proterra is that, unlike a lot of these companies going public, they already have quite a bit of revenue, and according to their investor presentation, which we're going to get to in a second, they have over $190 million in revenue, guys. So this is a little bit similar to ChargePoint and DraftKings. You know, very few of these companies that are going public, most of them just have a bunch of sketches and a bunch of dreams and things like that. But Proterra is a company with revenue built in, and they're just looking to basically hook up with a SPAC to get that money so they can, fund the business and grow it even further, and so they can return value to shareholders who have been holding the shares privately and they want to go public with this company. So as you can see here, here are some of the highlights. As you can see here, to date, Proterra has produced and delivered more than 300 megawatt hours of battery systems, over 550 EV buses, and installed 54 megawatts of charging systems. So here's exactly words from the CEO, Jack Allen. It says, after delivering our first electric transit bus a decade ago, Proterra is transformed into a diversified provider of electric vehicle technology solutions to help commercial vehicle manufacturers electrify their fleets. Our success is in no small part thanks to the dedicated team of employees that are committed to innovation and forward thinking, guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit more about the actual numbers. We're going to head over into that investor presentation. We're going to go over to the website, take a look at some of those products. So as you can see here, they did around 193 million in expected revenue, with over 750 million in existing backlog and existing orders, guys, with 26% gross margin. So these are some excellent numbers, and this is kind of what you want to see. So once again, one of the problems with some of these SPAC deals is that a lot of these companies aren't really going to succeed in the long run. I think we saw what happened to Nikola Motors, how basically the company became like a $10 billion company without any real revenue. So one of the good things about Proterra is that there is revenue there, so there's really not a fear of kind of these scammy, suspicious practices, guys. So now let's head over to the website, and then we'll check out the investor price. Okay, so as you can see here, with most of these SPAC deals, usually they agree to a merger, and then it takes a little bit of time for the company to go public. So there really isn't any information on when this company is exactly going to change the ticker symbol to Proterra and change the name of the stock. But right now we're expecting a transaction to close in the first half of 2021. So there's no exact set date, and I'll be sure to give you guys an update video when I find that out. But as we can see here, we're taking a look at basically their 3 segments of their business: energy, batteries, systems, and electric buses, guys. So one of the interesting things I like about Proterra is that, as you guys know, I talked a little bit about Arrival in the past. That's the UK company that's producing electric buses. So it seems like Proterra is kind of a good direct competitor to Arrival, but Arrival is mainly doing business in Europe. So I guess you could call Proterra kind of like the Arrival of Europe. And then it's really as well because it's a diversified business. So it's not just producing EV vehicles, it's also working on battery and energies. So I guess you could call it, if you were to call it something like, compare it to Tesla, you could call it like the commercial version of Tesla. So as we know, Tesla is mainly a consumer-based company selling products like EVs and solar energy panels and stuff like that to consumers. Well, Proterra would be like the Tesla of the commercial side. So they're trying to be like Tesla, but they're just focusing on commercial vehicles and commercial customers and things like that, guys. So I think Proterra is a really interesting company. So let's talk a little bit more about the investor presentation. I'll give you guys a price prediction. Okay, guys, so one of the things I really like about Proterra is fact that the management team is really excellent. They also have a lot of kind of people in their management team that are from Tesla. So anytime I see an electric company with former Tesla employees, it really gets my attention, because as we all know, Tesla is basically the king of EVs. And, you know, anyone that worked at Tesla is going to learn and have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience working and growing and scaling an EV company. So as we can see here, we'll take a look at the management team. So Jack Allen, he's the CEO, but the CTO and the VP of investor relations, they both are former Tesla employees. So these are some excellent signs to see, guys. So now let's talk a little bit more about the company itself. So as I mentioned before, it's basically broken down into three separate segments. So as you can see here, we're Proterra Powered, Transit, and Energy. So one of the nice things about Proterra Powered is that they have over 16 million real world service miles. With Transit, they have 50% market share in the electric transit bus market. So that's like a lot of these metro buses and things like that that you see around the cities. Obviously, with the pandemic situation, you know, public transportation is down, but in the future, these buses are going to have to be replaced. And it looks like Proterra is one of the leaders in that market with over 50% market share. And finally, they have energy, so they have charging installations, and they have a target of zero emissions by 2050, 100%. So guys, like I said, it's a pretty diversified company. It reminds me more of Tesla on the commercial side than anything. But they're also focusing just on commercial. So it's not going to obviously be as popular as Tesla, because what ends up with Tesla is that a lot of people end up buying the car and they fall in love with the car, and then they're out promoting it and buying the stock and things like that. Well, Proterra is on the commercial side, so probably won't have the same hype and won't have the same growth opportunities as a Tesla will. But as long as they continue to deliver strong numbers, I wouldn't be surprised to see this stock do extremely well over the long run. So here's a little bit more kind of a look at the presentation. I'm going to actually link to this presentation in the description. You guys can check this out yourself, but to keep this video on the shorter side, I just want to quickly go over some more things and talk about the SPAC transaction details and give you guys my price prediction. So as you can see here, one of the selling points for Proterra is that a lot of their competitors like Arrival and things like that have prototypes, but here they already have electric buses, commercial vehicles, school buses, transit buses, things like that already on the road. So that's really good to see a proven product. And they also have a lot of revenue. Is one of the reasons why I promote ChargePoint so much on his channel, is because they already have revenue. And as you can see, Proterra almost 200 million in revenue per year. So guys, really strong company, very diversified, not relied on one income source, one revenue source as well, with good technology. So obviously there's a lot of growth ahead in the commercial vehicle market, and I expect Proterra to have a good chunk of that in the future. So now let's kind of talk a little bit more about the bus side. So as you can see here, the 50% market share in the electric transit bus market. So for any of you guys that have ever ridden public transportation, you know a lot of these older transit buses emit some of the worst carbon emissions out of all vehicles because of their large size and the fact that they have to carry so many people. So it'd be really nice, and it's kind of really good an environment for a company like Proterra to replace these vehicles. And then as you can see here, they're projected to have around in the total American bus market, it's expected to have around compound annual growth rates of around 50%, with almost 50% of the vehicles electrified by 2025. And as you can see here, they have plenty of customers all over the US with over 450 vehicles in the backlog and over $400 million in cumulative sales. So these are really amazing numbers, guys. And then the energy side of the company, once again, 37 billion annual investment expected in global charging infrastructure by the decade. And I expect that to be a lot higher as well, because Joe Biden came out and said he wanted to build like 500,000 charging stations. And we have companies like ChargePoint, we have companies like Blink. All of these guys are racing, and obviously if there's a lot more EVs on the road than expected, they're gonna have to build even more charging stations. So both for the commercial and the consumer side, I think that this is a good place to be into. So now, guys, I want to talk a little bit more. As you can see here, once again, lots of leadership from big companies like Mercedes, Delta, EA, Tesla, Honda. So lots of experience with this team, and also the board of directors as well. Many big companies here. So it's basically an all-star team of basically former employees and global thinkers and leaders coming together for Proterra to build out this company, guys. So now let's talk a little bit more. Let's go to head down and talk to the financial aspect of this company to keep the video on the shorter side. So what you guys are wondering is probably, how is this SPAC going to work? Well, it's going to work like most SPACs. Basically, they're going to merge, and then they're going to increase the shares outstanding, and then the ticker symbol will basically change. So as we can see here, let's go over this transaction. So first, here there's a projected revenue. So the projected revenue by 2025 is about $2.5 billion, guys, and we're currently sitting at around 193 million. So that's over 10x revenue growth, guys, which means that there's a lot of upside in this company if they can hit those revenue numbers. And we'll talk about how the detailed transaction overview. At the end of the transaction, there's going to be around 240 million shares outstanding. So as of right now, if the transaction were to finish, the current stock price is around $21 as of recording this video. So just to do some quick math, we're looking at basically a $5 billion company, something like that right now. So let's say that the revenue would hit 2.5 billion, and a lot of these charging stocks are trading at, like for instance, Tesla's probably trading at like a price to sales ratio of 30. That means that this company could be at least, you know, if we take a look at the current you know, stock price, and we take a look at the price to sales ratio, this company has the potential to be something like maybe a 60 to 70 billion dollar company in the next 5 years or so. So I'm just using, I'm just simply taking the sales, which could be around 2.5 billion. I'm just multiplying that by like 25 to 30, give you guys a rough estimate. So there's a lot of upside, I think, in Proterra, and I think there's at least 10x upside in this company, and it could go on the kind of the same trajectory that we saw Tesla. Out of all the commercial EV companies I've seen and we've covered on this channel, Proterra probably has the best chances of kind of growing at the same clip that Tesla did on the consumer side, guys. So like I said, guys, I'll link to this in the presentation. As you can see here, it's one of the best, I think, compounded annual growth companies you're going to see. Excellent compounded annual growth rates with around 68% projected over the next 5 years. That's basically beating out all of these other companies, including Tesla, Workhorse, and Plug Power, where NIO is probably the fastest growing EV stock in the entire industry, guys. So now let's talk a little bit about my future price prediction and what I'm going to be personally doing with Proterra stock. Okay, so as with most of these SPACs, there's a lot of initial excitement, and then it looks like the price comes down basically off the news. But I think if you're a long-term holder here, I think a realistic price target for Proterra stock in the future, perhaps in the next year or two, is about $200 per share. Yes, I know that sounds you know, extreme, but it's the same. I think it's going in the same growth path as ChargePoint. So when these companies already have a lot of revenue baked in, just under $200 million, they can really grow fast, because there's not like this wait and see period where you have to wait for production and things like that. So once this ticker symbol changes into Proterra, you're definitely going to see this company posting some awesome revenue numbers, and they're going to have to electrify that bus fleet, and they also have revenue sources from energy and selling batteries and stuff like that. So as long as they can become kind of the Tesla of the commercial EV industry in North America, I think this stock can easily 10x. So huge upside on this stock. And this could be, if you guys missed the run up in Tesla, full disclosure, I am a Tesla shareholder. But if you're looking for a company that has similar growth like Tesla, but in the commercial field, I think Proterra is a nice. So my $200 future price target. And I'll definitely be buying some stock, adding this one to the portfolio, although I'll probably have to take something out, probably take some slower growing stocks that I have out and add this one to my portfolio for sure. So that's it until next time, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please smash the like button if you enjoy my content and subscribe to more videos. And be sure to check out my daily stock watch newsletter, where I post every Monday through Friday the stocks I'm watching every morning. And be sure to check out my private Discord chat. If you guys have any questions you want to personally ask me, you guys want to track my exact trades and things like that, and talk with other like-minded investors in the Discord, then this is the best option for you. You guys can get more access to me and what exactly I'm doing with my portfolio. So that's it until next time, guys. Take care.